Right then. I believe we are live. Make sure I've got all my tabs where they need to be. And we are ready to go. Hello everybody, how are we doing? Welcome back to Trucking Tuesday, where things are looking a little bit different today, as you can see. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute, but you'll notice that things are a bit odd. We've got two cameras today, but we're back for Trucking Tuesday. We're going to play some more Euro Truck Simulator 2, and it's open for Convoy as well. I'll explain more when we get in. Sorry, I'm a little bit flustered because it was a bit of a rush to get the stream started on time. I've been busy recording a video. I don't know if you'll be able to guess what the video is from the outfit, but there's a video and it's going to be coming out tomorrow. I was recording it literally half an hour ago, so it's been a bit of a mad rush to make sure that I could get the stream out on time. Euro Truck Sim so peak. Thank you, Harry. Thanks for the heart, me, Daniel. And hello, Max. How are you doing today? So, whilst we're waiting for the game to load up, I should just let you know that once again we are running a convoy today. I haven't launched it yet, but we are going to be doing a convoy. The mod list has changed a little bit, so if you want to join the convoy, you will need to make sure that you've got the correct mods. All the information for that is in the trucking in the truck channel on the Discord server. But I'm going to launch the convoy now. Normally I'd get this set up before the stream, but again, I haven't had time. Username is session name is going to be Ashendak, all lowercase. Password is going to be Tuesday, all uppercase, same as always. And we'll just keep everything else as it should be. Oh, it's going to take a minute to process the mods. I forgot about this from last time. Again, I should have got this done before the stream. I've just been busy, so hopefully it won't take too long. Hi, STFC. How are you doing? Max says, a little tired, but I'm making it. Nice one, Max. Thanks for the gift, Stray Dog. How are you doing today? What's with the new face cam layout? Good question, STFC. Good question. So, a few months ago, you might remember, I was talking about using my spare webcam as a second webcam, but I couldn't get it to work. I had so many problems getting it to work. I figured out in the end what the problem was. Just today, I figured out what the problem was. The problem was that I was plugging the second webcam into a USB 2 socket instead of a USB 3 socket. Fortunately, my PC does have two USB 3 sockets, so I plugged both webcams into the two USB 3 sockets, and what do you know, it turns out that both webcams do actually work at the same time. The problem I was having before was when I plugged in one webcam, it would just turn the other webcam off instantly. But I finally got it to work. I got both webcams working at the same time, so I thought it would be a good idea to have one on my face and one on the wheel, because I did like the old camera angle. Unfortunately, with the old camera angle, it wasn't the best. It was quite hard to see my face. Some of the gear wasn't really in focus. It was kind of the only place that I could put the camera where you could see everything, but it wasn't ideal. Now, you know, I've got a clear shot of my face, and there's a clear shot of all the sim gear. So hopefully, if this works out, we'll keep it like this. I might move things about ever so slightly, but I think this could work. I think it could work quite nicely. And if you're watching on YouTube or other platforms right now, my sim gear is right in the middle of the screen, and I'm in the top left. But yeah, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it'll work. Hey Logan, sorry I was in the middle of talking. I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing? We're just waiting for the mods to be processed, and then we're going to dive into our convoy. once again, if you want to join the convoy, the instructions are the same as always. Head to the Discord server, go to the Trucks channel. There's information there on what mods you need. We are now using ProMods. I've finally added ProMods into the convoy mod list, which is really exciting because I'm a big ProMods fan. But do keep that in mind. You will need to make sure you've got all the ProMod stuff if you want to join the convoy today. Do you have any pets, says Logan? I do. I've got a pet jumping spider who is in that tank that you can see over there at the back of the room. He's doing very well. Just fed him yesterday. And I also have 3 cats, which are technically my brother's cats, but me and my brother live together, so they're not really mine, but you know. So we got 3 cats, and I've got a spider. Hey Matt on YouTube, how are you doing today? Okay, 19 out of 35 mods processed. Again, I do want to apologise. I did, you know, I should have got this sorted before the stream. I've just been a bit of a rush because I have been recording a video today, which will be coming out tomorrow. Oh, that reminds me, actually, I have some good news and bad news. It's good news for me, it's bad news for you. The news is that my sister is coming tomorrow. Rather unexpected. She was supposed to be coming up in January, but they couldn't really get things lined up with getting time off work and stuff like that. So things have been a bit all over the place. She just rang me this morning and said, I'm going to be coming up tomorrow, if that's alright. I mean, I haven't seen her for 4 months, so, or my nephew, so obviously I said, yeah, come on. So she's coming up tomorrow. She's stopping for a week. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to affect the stream schedule, because I think I might be able to slip away on Friday for a farming sim stream. I'm sure she won't mind me doing 1 or 2 streams. She's going to be seeing the rest of the family while she's up here anyway, so I'm just letting you know in advance. Over the next week, some streams might be cancelled or they might go ahead. I can't say for certain, but if any streams are cancelled, that's why. It's because I'm spending time with my family. But there we go. Just wanted to make you aware of that. Wednesday's probably the best day as you finished Outlast, says STFC. Good point, STFC. I think Outlast... because I finished Outlast, there's nothing lined up for Wednesday. And it's quite a slow week this week. I was only planning on streaming Friday, Sunday, and next Tuesday. So even if I do have to cancel, it's only 2 or 3 streams that are going to be missed. Like I say, if I can, I'll try and stream anyway. I'm sure she won't mind me just doing a couple of streams while she's here. But, you know, again, if any streams are cancelled, it's because I'm spending time with my family. You can't really blame me for that. Is it Trucking Tuesday? It is, Seb. The music stopped, by the way. For some reason, in the latest update of Euro Truck, the music doesn't restart itself once it's finished. If you stay in the main menu for too long, the music just stops. Which is, you know, it makes for some awkward silences if you're waiting quite a while for mods to be processed. But I can't really tab out of the game to put any music on in case it crashes. So we're just going to have to sit here, and I'll keep talking to fill the silence whilst it finishes processing the mods. Do you think Euro Truck will ever go on console, says Draydog? It is coming to console this year, Draydog. I think the release date has been set for sometime in August. I could be wrong on that. And obviously it's subject to, you know, being moved most likely further into the future rather than early. I imagine a game being released early. That never happens. But it is supposed to be releasing on console this year. It's going to be coming to PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. Not last gen, so if you got a PS4 or an Xbox One or whatever the last Xbox was called, it won't be on those. But it will be coming to PS5 and Xbox Series. And hopefully it'll be crossplay as well. The moving around of the release date better not be anything like GTA 6, says Draydog. I mean, to be brutally honest, SCS Software, they do have a habit of delaying well, no, not really, to be honest. They don't really delay DLCs because they don't set an announcement date until it's ready to be released. You know what I mean? Like the latest DLC, Nordic Horizons, that came out at the end of last year, they didn't set a release date for it until it was ready to release. So even though people were waiting for a long time for it, it wasn't like they set a date and then missed it. Which, honestly, I think is better, to be honest. If you're not sure when it's going to be ready, just don't set a definite release date. Anyway, the convoy's live. We're ready to go. I'm going to press drive. Anyone's free to join. It could end up being just me today because it's the first time I've played Euro Truck on my new TikTok account. So if it does end up just being me, that's absolutely fine. That's why I'm playing with ProMods. That's why I'm playing with Convoy, because all the AI traffic's still here, so it's not like I'm just going to be driving around on my own. Oh, please, hurry up. I need the music back. Okay, there we go. Whoa! 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 What? Right. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. You can't do this. It's literally spawned my truck inside a van. You can't do that to me. 100% damage? Fuck that. What? Do you have any idea how much it's going to cost me to fix that? That's because I've started a convoy, isn't it? And you can't load game in a convoy either. Fuck's sake! What a way to start the stream, eh? Hey Stan, how are we? I'm good. I mean, I was good until the game suddenly decided to spawn me inside another vehicle. And now I have to pay God knows how much to repair. 176 grand? Fine, it's okay. I've got over 12 mil. It's fine, it's pocket change. Let's just get it fixed and say no more about it. What a joke. What a joke. Oh. Anyway. Wipers off. That's not the wiper button. There we go. I left for a minute and the truck's shaking. Do I want to know? For some reason, Draydog, it spawned me inside that van. Well, actually, no. It spawned the van in the position that I was in, because when I quit the game, I was in that same spot. So clearly what's happened is the game has spawned a van where I happened to have been parked when I saved the game last time. Which, very annoying. I've just had to spend 176 grand to get that repaired, but it is what it is. Anyway, I am currently in Mingasheva, which is in either Georgia or Azerbaijan. I'm not sure which. But I'm in one of those two countries. We're using ProMods, so obviously we can go quite far outside the vanilla map area. If we take a quick look at the map, here we are. I think, yeah, this is is this Georgia? And that's that's Georgia. This is Azerbaijan. We're in Azerbaijan. Okay, so this is ProMods. In fact, yeah, this area here is ProMods. This area down here is ProMods Middle East, and this area here is ProMods The Great Step. So we got a few different ProMods add-ons. And I guess while we're waiting for people to join the convoy, which they may or may not, we'll take a job. Ideally from where we are. Why are all the jobs so long? I guess this one will do for now. It's a good start. Okay, and we're off. Now, for some reason, we've only got one viewer on TikTok right now, so I'm guessing that maybe yesterday's stream was just a fluke and we haven't managed to land on the For You page just yet. If you're enjoying the stream, please share it. And we're finally off. Oh, let me know how the cameras are keeping up, by the way. I'm not sure if it's going to cause, like, performance issues with it rendering two cameras. So let me know if there's any problems on that front. Okay. Freight market. Mingasheva to Borjomi, that'll do. I mean, 7k is not really big bucks, is it? But it'll do for now. I mean, I should have really backed into here, shouldn't I? Let's go. Interesting traffic light design in Azerbaijan. It appears that the lights are built into the actual pole, which is different. Oh shit, this is the wrong way. We've gone off path. I'd rather watch paint dry, says Harley. Well, B&Q is still open, Harley. One of my tyres seems to be jumping up and down a little bit. Not sure what that's about. Okay, now we're going the right way. I've got a mod that makes the invisible barriers actually invisible. In the vanilla game, when you get close to a barrier, like these symbols appear to show you that you're close to the edge of the map. But I've got a mod that disables that so that they're completely invisible. It does mean that sometimes I accidentally go down a path that doesn't exist and accidentally rear-end the car in front of me when I'm busy talking. Hey, Charlie, how are you doing? Like the new camera? Thank you, Charlie. I wanted to... The thing is, I wanted to have my camera on... It's not really so much of a problem on TikTok, but on YouTube and elsewhere, I wanted myself to be facing into the frame, because normally when I play Euro Truck, my camera's positioned in such a way that I'm like facing outwards, away from the game, which I didn't like. It didn't look very natural. So I wanted to have a way to have my face, you know, to have me facing towards the game. And then that got me thinking about setting up a second camera for the sim gear. And that's what we got now. Afternoon, Charlie. Just finishing work, then going to another job. Nice one, Charlie. Glad that you're here. Draydog says, I'm buzzing on caffeine, so if any dickwads come on, they're getting muted. Nice one, Draydog. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we're on the open roads. Now we can relax a little bit. Oh wow, we managed to get a bot already, Max. Didn't take long today. How much was it to repair the truck? It cost me 176 grand, Draydog. Didn't take long, says Max. Yeah. There's always one. The thing is, though, there's always exactly one. It never happens twice per stream, I've noticed. There's always exactly one bot. It's like they communicate with each other. When one of them doesn't, you know, when one of them leaves a message and I don't take the bait, they just don't bother again for the rest of the stream, I've noticed. Are you online today? Yes, Charlie. The stream, the convoy is open. I don't know if we're going to get anyone joining today because it's my first stream, my first Euro Truck stream on the new account. But the stream is open. The convoy, sorry, is open if anyone wants to join. There's information on the Discord server about which mods you need. That's a bit much for a spawning accident. The problem is, when I spawned, I was inside the van, so the truck just kept like jittering from side to side, so the damage just kept going up and up and up, and I ended up with 100% damage, which is very expensive to repair. I'm annoyed about it, but again, I've got 12.4 mil. Well, I had 12.6 mil, now I've got 12.4 because I just spent 200k to get it repaired, but you know, it's a drop in the ocean really. I would join, but I'm stuck at work, sorry. No worries, P, no worries. Glad to have you here anyway. Hi, Dagger, how are you doing today? Good, thanks you. I'm good. I'm good. Bit of a hectic day. I've just found out that my sister's coming tomorrow at very short notice. So getting the house tidy and everything. I've also recorded a video today just before the stream. I won't say what the video is, but I will say that I bought this jumper especially for the video. And I will use it for future videos as well. That might not be a very useful hint, but if you want to try and guess what the video is, go ahead. Should we refuel? No, we're good. I was going to say, Sibling's got a habit of letting you know shit last minute. Very true, Dre Dog, very true. Again, I can't really complain in this case, because she has been trying to get up here since January. She was going to come up in the first week or second week of January. But things just haven't worked out. Work and, you know, lining up the schedules with my brother-in-law. It's just been a bit of a struggle to find a date that she could actually get up here, so I'm not complaining. Like I say, it's last minute, but this from the other day stream, says Charlie. What do you mean, Charlie? Have we got our... Just checking the lights. It's actually the first time I've played Euro Truck in a month, by the way, because the last Euro Truck stream we missed, if you remember. And I played an extra Outlast stream to make up for it. And then obviously next week we're going to be playing SnowRunner again. It says your name... Oh, did I forgot to change the stream description on TikTok. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, the description is for yesterday's Minecraft stream. Can I change it mid-stream? Next time I find somewhere to pull over, I'll sort that out. But yeah, that's the description. That's the description for yesterday's stream. Sorry. Found it a bit out on yesterday's stream that the gifting got suspended for a few minutes. It did, Dreydog, yeah. Unfortunately, the false reports have already started. Literally less than 2 weeks I've been streaming on this new account, and it's already started happening, so... Part of me feels like I wasted my time making this new account if it's just going to end up going the same way as the old one, but frankly, I don't care anymore. I really genuinely don't care anymore. If it continues, I will just stop streaming on TikTok. Because I've got YouTube and my other platforms to stream on. And I've complained enough about TikTok and it doesn't do any good. You know, it doesn't make a difference. It's very obvious that the entire reporting system is completely broken. But TikTok's not going to do anything about it. In fact, it's probably by design, to be honest. I'm getting tired. Okay. I am... Oh, there's a place to rest right here. Good. whilst I'm resting, let me just head over to TikTok and I will change the description of the stream. Just give me a second. I'll pull the YouTube description. Videos. Okay, there we go. I've updated the stream description to reflect the game that we're actually playing. It might take a minute to update on TikTok, though. I would join, but it takes ages to download ProMods. You have to wait 5 minutes for every download. True, Charlie. If you've got a little bit of cash to spare, you can pay for faster downloads on ProMods, and all that money goes towards supporting the development of ProMods, which I think is a pretty good cause. Totally optional, obviously, but if you do want to use the free downloads, it does take a while. But if you do it today, then you could always join in the next Euro Truck stream. Okay. Sun's starting to set. How long are you doing today? We'll be live till 7 PM GMT. What game is this, says Skinno? This is Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I'm currently playing with ProMods. Right now we're in Azerbaijan. And we're doing a delivery to Georgia. Glare. Hey Ob, how you doing? Oh, we're approaching the border. That's probably why there's all these trucks queuing up. New hair, looks lovely. Thanks, LDS Defender. It's the same hair, but I did have a bath yesterday, so it's freshly washed. Is this available on Xbox or just PC? Currently it's only on PC, Skinno. It is going to be releasing on Xbox and PS5 later this year, but there isn't an exact release date yet. Most likely August, September-ish. Thanks for following, by the way, Skinno. Would you say the detail on stuff in Euro Truck is as bad as Farming Sim? Honestly, no. I think both games do what they do well, right? I mean, neither game is going to be accurate in every single area because you don't have to be in a simulator game. I know, you know, we were laughing and joking about it in Farming Sim the other day about how bad the trains were in that game, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. You know, it was just a bit of a laugh. The trains don't need to be accurate because it's not a game about trains, you know. And I feel the same way about Euro Truck. Like, the bits that need to be accurate are accurate, and the bits that aren't really important, they don't have as much detail in them. but that's fine. It's the sort of thing that you're not supposed to look too closely at, really. Like, when you come across a train in this game, it's for just a few seconds when you get stopped at a level crossing or whatever. There's not really any point in putting in the time and effort to make a super detailed and accurate model for something that's literally just going to pass by you every once in a blue moon, you know? I think they both do what they do well. Might take us a while to actually get through customs, because there's quite a queue here. But we are entering into Georgia any second. Sorry, I was taking care of something. Did I miss anything? Nope, you're all good, Max. You're all good. Okay, we're next. Oh, you are joking. You are joking. We can't go through this one, we have to go through the ones on the left. Great. Oh, that's invisible. That's an invisible barrier. We can't go through there. Fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, how do I get out of here without just pushing all of these cars behind me backwards? The answer is I don't. I have to push all these cars behind me backwards. It's an emergency. There we go. Blimey, what happened there? Okay, right. I need you to make it clearer which booth I'm supposed to go to, because those signs are not big enough to read. Those signs are not big enough for me to see. Look at the size of it. Look at the size of that sign. I need you to be more clear about which toll booth I'm supposed to be going through. Or just make them all accessible. I know it's less realistic, but come on. Just let me go through any of them. I know there's supposed to be a dedicated one for heavy-duty vehicles, but... I mean, what happens IRL? What happens in real life if you're at a toll booth and you, like, go to the wrong one? Do you just have to, like, lean out of your window and be like, sorry everyone, could you back it up a little bit? I've gone the wrong way. Or would they just let you through and be like, next time, make sure you go through the right booth? I don't know, because I don't actually drive. Do not pull the same thing again here. Don't do this to me. It's... You're actually taking the piss now. You're actually taking the piss. Okay, right, so... Right, let's just get this clear. So, the first toll booth, trucks have to go to the left. But the second toll booth, trucks have to go to the right. And you know what the crazy thing is? There are no signs at all on the second set of toll booths. Like... The first set at least had signs. They were too small to read, but there were at least signs there. The second set of toll booths doesn't even have any signs at all. There is no sign here to say which toll booth the truck can and can't go through. So you know what? I'm not backing up this time. I'm just gonna get towed to service. And frankly, I think that is bad signage. But there's no harm done. How much does being towed cost? I honestly have no idea, Trey Dog. I don't really pay attention to that. Noah on YouTube says, you play a truck game, but you don't even have a driving license. How sad. Yeah, you actually don't need a driving license to play driving video games. I don't know if you were aware of that, but you actually only need a driving license to drive real cars and trucks. If you want to play a video game that has cars and trucks in it, you can just buy it. You don't need a license for that, Noah. Gender says user 85747374. I'm a trans woman. I was assigned male at birth. I was raised as a boy. I came out about 5 years ago, and I've lived as a woman ever since. Right. Let's try this again. Unfortunately, the nearest garage was back before the toll booth, so we are going to have to go through the toll booths again. But this time, I know which one to go through. How is that my fault? How is that my fucking fault? Look, the AI traffic in this game, most of the time it's okay, but at roundabouts, it normally is terrible. I mean, you saw that. I was on the roundabout, I was halfway around the roundabout at speed, and this other car just pulls onto the roundabout. That's not how roundabouts work. I might not drive, but I know how right-of-way works at a roundabout. You don't just see a truck coming at full speed around the roundabout and think, right, I'm going to go now. Oh, I'm getting frustrated already. We're 45 minutes into the stream. And I'm starting to lose it slightly. Can you go anywhere on the map? Says Skinno. You can go pretty much everywhere, yes. I'll show you the map in a minute. Hey, Jess. But yeah, the base game and the DLC, pretty much all of Europe is represented at this point. If you get mods, you can go to other places as well. Right now we've got ProMods Middle East and ProMods The Great Steppe, so we can go to parts of Russia and parts of the Middle East. In the past I've played with all sorts of different mods. We've been down to South Africa, we've been to Australia, we've been to Canada even. With mods you can go basically anywhere in the world. But even if you just want to play the game totally vanilla, there's a lot of map to explore. Okay, I didn't really need to shut the engine down. I don't know why I did that. Thanks for the gifts, Jess. Okay, we're gonna get it right this time, and I just want to confirm. For my own sanity, there are absolutely no markings here, right? There's nothing here that says trucks must go this way, right? There's no paint on the road, there's no signs. The signs all just say customs. Okay, there's a sign there. There's a sign there. But there should have been another sign at the entrance with an arrow, you know? Because that sign there is so easy to miss, evidently, because I missed it. I'll die on this hill. This border checkpoint needs better signage. I'm not taking responsibility for messing up. Anyway, we're in Georgia now, so that's something. Welcome to Georgia. Is there a Japan mod? There is a Japan mod, Charlie. Unfortunately, it's a standalone mod. So it's a separate playable map. Like, you can't drive from Europe to Japan. It's a completely separate map module, which is a shame. But yeah, there is a Japan mod. There isn't a US mod, but you've got American Truck Simulator for that if you want to drive in the US. And American Truck Simulator has quite a lot of good mods for it as well. There's ProMods Canada, which I've never played because I don't actually have American Truck Simulator, but, you know, if you're more into American-style trucking, then American Truck Simulator is out there for you. If, like me, you prefer European-style trucks and European-style trucking, then Euro Truck's the way to go. It'll never happen, but would you like both trucks sims in one game, says Charlie. I think it will eventually happen. It might not be for a very long time, but I really do feel like it's going to reach a point, sorry, I keep tripping over my words, it's going to reach a point where Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator are basically finished for all intents and purposes, and it's like, what will they do after that? What will they do when there's not really any more map area to add? And to me, the most logical thing would be to combine the two into one game. I really do think that one day we will get a global truck simulator that basically combines ETS2 and ATS. And maybe even beyond, you know, I mean, again, it might take years and years, it might take decades, but surely one day there will be a game where you can just drive anywhere on the entire planet. Maybe not a one-to-one scale, that might take a bit longer. But the Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator maps are at a scale of 1 to 19, I believe. And look, they've already made most of Europe in this scale, and a good chunk of the United States. I don't think it's unreasonable to predict that one day we could see the whole world in 1 to 19 scale in a Euro Truck-like game. Can I go, or... I think the flashing orange means I can't go. But, hang on, but all the lights are flashing yellow. I'm just gonna go, because I think these traffic lights are broken. Every single traffic light is yellow on all four sides, so I'm just gonna go. Should have ice trucking sim. That would be cool, Jess. With ProMods, you can go up to Iceland, and there's some snowy areas up there, which is really cool. Unfortunately, there is no snow in Euro Truck Simulator at all. Like, even in the latest DLC, where you can drive all the way to the northern tip of Norway, there's no snow. And I really hope they add snow for the Iceland DLC, because if we get Iceland in Euro Truck and it has no snow at all, it's going to be a bit of a piss take, you know? Come on, STS Software, give us some snow. It's about time. Is that a cat on the dash, says Jess? Oh, and Max said, is that a cat as well? Yes, we have got a cat. I'm using a mod called Farzel's Cab Cats. You can buy a cat to sit in your cab, and it is animated as well. He rolls over, he licks his bollocks, normal cat stuff. And you can choose different cats as well. You can get a tabby, a ginger. I've got a tuxedo cat because my childhood cat, Gizmo, was a tuxedo. But they're pretty cool. Nice bit of company. Okay, we're climbing. I'm not quite sure where we are, but we are climbing. We've just passed Tel Aviv, which is probably not pronounced like that. I don't speak Georgian. Is that the language of Georgia? What language do they speak in Georgia? Speeding offence, I don't care about that. For the TikTok folks as well, I think I might do a quick stream restart at 5 o'clock. You know why? You know the old trick. We'll try it again today because it's been a slow day today. So we'll do that at 5. It's about 8 minutes to now, so... Let me turn the speed up on these. That's better. Yeah, sometimes if a stream's getting low views and it's coming up to an hour, it's a good idea to restart it, because on the hour is when there's like a wave of new people joining. So I've done it before in the past. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, if you're getting low views, try restarting your stream on the hour, and it can occasionally get you a bit of a boost. I should be using right here. Oh. Were they speed bumps? Doesn't let me repost the live for some reason. What a surprise, STFC. What a surprise. There's no reason. There is no reason. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't violated community guidelines. I haven't broken streaming rules or anything like that. There is literally no reason whatsoever why TikTok would not let you repost my live stream. So of course they won't let you, because they like to just do shit for no reason. That's how TikTok works these days. Okay, it is 5-2. Where is the nearest rest point? Okay, there's some services and places up ahead. once we get to somewhere I can pull over, I'll restart the stream on TikTok. Ooh, sharp corner. Has it stopped raining? Yes. Good. Another sharp corner. Oh no, says Big Knots Leon. What's up, Big Knots Leon? Okay, 57. Come on. Thank you. $58. Watch your TikTok. My name on TikTok is Saul Ashbridge. There should be a link in my About section. Hey, punters. I'm on your page and it doesn't show that you're live. Well, I don't know what to say. I'm going to restart the stream in a minute anyway, because, unfortunately, I don't think it's only you. I think other people are having that problem. Let me just... I know we're off-road, but I'm going to pull up here for a second. Okay. I'm going to quickly restart the TikTok stream. Oh, Punters says, hello, would join in today, but I've been for a run and my local football team has a game. No worries, Punters. Thanks for joining anyway. There are some new mods. You'll need to get ProMods for next time if you want to join the next convoy. But yeah, no worries if you can't join today. I am just about to restart the stream on TikTok, so don't go away. I'm literally going to end the stream and then start it again straight after. Ooh. Sorry, voice break there. So I will see you in just a couple of seconds, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, and go live. There we go. And we're back, like nothing happened. Oh no, don't tell me I'm getting tired. It lets me repost now? Perfect, nice one, STFC. Please do, if you can. Five o'clock is normally the big wave of new viewers, because most people finish work at 5, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a spike in viewership over the next half an hour or so. It shows up now. Good, good. I'm not sure why TikTok does the things it does. It just does them. Anyway, we're back on the road now. We are 2 hours and 12 minutes away from our destination. We do need to sleep, so as soon as I get to a rest point, looks like there's a petrol station coming up. Okay, coming in a bit fast. We are only supposed to be doing 50 right now. We're already exceeding that. There we go, that's better. Okay, there's a petrol station here, but it doesn't have a bed icon. I hope there's somewhere that I can sleep. There isn't, is there? God damn it. Well, I might as well refill. Also, hello if you're just joining, by the way. We're currently playing Euro Truck Simulator 2. Right now I'm in Georgia. We're delivering a load of stone dust. Very exciting. Yeah, and I also need to sleep quite badly, as soon as I can find somewhere to do so. There's a place on the other side. Should I, if I come off here? Yeah, I think I've got to come off here. Is your character moaning? It's yawning, Leon. I know it sounds a bit odd, but it's yawning. Oh wait, we've gone off the map again. Shit. We are very far outside the map boundaries right now. And yet, now we're back in them. We actually managed to take a shortcut that doesn't actually exist. Because I've got the mod that removes the invisible barriers at the edges of the map. I don't know why that slip road isn't on the map, though. Seems a bit odd. Never mind. Okay, easy. Thanks for following Manic Yellow. Very kind of you. And thanks for the heart me as well. Woo! Okay, gently. Right, it says that this is a sleep area. Looks a bit barren. As long as I can sleep. Or grab a coffee. I always forget that you don't actually sleep in convoy mode. You grab a coffee. Okay, I'm here. Or is it on the other side? I think it's on the other side of this fence. Game name is Euro Truck Simulator 2. Okay, here we are. Now we can grab a coffee. Or a monster. Hair. Monster's better? I agree, Jess. Well, I don't know, I like a good coffee, but the thing is, I only drink coffee in a morning. I have my morning cup, but then I don't really drink it throughout the day. Oh shit, I've just fucking hit someone. Go, 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 go. Wasn't me, wasn't me. Should have been looking out of the window when we were reversing there. God, why is it such effort to get out of here? Why? I'm not going all the way back down there. Sod that. I'm not going like 3 miles down the motorway to turn round. I'll just make an illegal left turn here. Problem solved. There we go. Oh, voila! Look, all of a sudden, I'm not taking a detour of that scale when I can just turn left here. Okay, we're back on the move. We're 2 hours and 5 minutes away from Borjomi. And, okay, what's happening here then? Oh, a collision. What a surprise. At least it wasn't me. Do you still have a sausage, says Liam? Yes. Not to beat around the bush. Yes, I do. Thank you for asking, Liam. Thanks for the treasure box, Jess. Oh no, we're not supposed to be turning off here. Nearly. Are they a real pair you have there too? No, these are not real, I'm sorry to say. Not yet. One day. But I've not taken any hormones at this stage in my transition, so they're fake. Oh, nearly. Wandered into the hard shoulder a little bit there. That's a manly game, says Ketamine Carl. Sure is. Women don't actually drive trucks. Never happened before. A woman's never been behind the wheel of a truck. They just... Female truck drivers just don't exist. Because it's a man's job. Can mod if needed. It's all right, Jess. We got Dre Dog managing the managing the chat. Also, Jess laughs with my lorry license. How did you get one, Jess? You're not allowed to have one. Women aren't allowed to drive trucks. Ketamine Kari said so. No, seriously though, it always makes me laugh when people come onto my stream and say stuff like, "Oh, this is a really manly game you're playing," or "Why are you playing this man's game?" And it's like, it's a video game. It's not for men. It's not for women. It's just a game. Anyone can play it. Doesn't matter what gender they are. Contrary to popular belief, women can drive trucks. Sorry I had to pop off for a minute, but they're sorted now. Thank you, Dre Dog. Thanks very much. It's alright. We got a good laugh out of them anyway. That's the main thing. Also, thank you, Chris, for the heart me, and Dre Dog for the fluffy heart. Okay, slow down a bit. I'd like to know, by the way, what's everyone's thoughts on the camera setup so far today, because I took a bit of a risk with it. It's definitely not how I usually have my camera set up, but if it's working, then ignore that. If it's working, then I will keep it like this for future driving games, you know, Euro Truck, Farming Sim, SnowRunner. Like I said earlier, I think the previous camera angle just wasn't really working out. I did like having all of the equipment and my face in one shot, but it meant that the camera was really far away from me, it wasn't lit very well. Having two separate cameras means that I can get, you know, means that I can have one of the cameras focused on my face, but I've got the second camera on the wheel so you can still see what my hands are doing. I think it's working. I think it's working. Jess says, looks more relaxed. Max says, loving the camera angle. Good. I'm glad to hear it. If it's working, we'll keep it like this for future driving games. Dre Dog says, having a laugh with these comments is why sometimes I don't mute them straight away. I just find it funny that they think they're insulting. Honestly, that's my attitude as well, Dre Dog. Like, don't remove comments unless it's like really clear that they're bothering me, which most of the time they're not. If I'm just getting a good laugh out of it, then you might as well leave them up. The only thing that I don't like is spam. I've said that many times before. The only thing that I'm totally opposed to is spam, because, come on, we're all trying to enjoy ourselves. If you're just going to comment the same thing 50 times in a row, no one's enjoying that. You're just annoying people. So spam, get rid of it. If it's just a troll comment, if it's just someone saying, oh, look at the size of his Adam's apple, you can leave that up. I don't mind that. If I'm getting a laugh out of it, it can stay. You should have a bev and play this game, says Thomas Antics. I've never actually... I've never drunk on stream before. And I don't want to drink on stream, but I have played Euro Truck after a couple of drinks in the past. And honestly, I think it improved my driving. if you've seen how well that I drive sober, you can imagine how I drive when I've had a few. And remember, kids, drink driving is illegal, so if you want to do it on Euro Truck Simulator. That's fine, you're allowed to do that. You can drink as much as you want and then play Euro Truck. That's allowed. So if you want all the thrills of drink driving without actually putting anyone in danger, have a couple of bevies and play Euro Truck. Little life hack there for you. Max says, BRB taking the dog out. No worries, Max. Good idea, I might have to download it, says Thomas Antics. I mean, jokes aside though, I recommend Euro Truck just as a game in general. It's such a good game. And I know, you know, I'm sat here playing it with a steering wheel and a gear shifter and all this other stuff, but even if you've just got a keyboard and mouse or a controller, it's still a really fun game. I do think the experience is improved if you've got all the gear, but it's not that, you know, that doesn't mean that it's a bad game if you've just got a keyboard and mouse, because it is. It's still just as fun. Oop. I got my learners last month, so I'll use it as practice. Good idea, Thomas Antics. I mean, maybe... Oh, shit, we've hit that trailer there. I wouldn't say it's an ultra-realistic simulation experience. I wouldn't advise using it to learn how to drive. Okay, there we go. We ever so slightly nudged the flatbed trailer there. No harm done. No harm done. As long as you drive off before the damage is noticed, you get away with it, you know? That's another hot tip from me. As someone who doesn't drive. Okay, job done. Job done. We have delivered, what was it? Stone dust? Not the most exciting cargo. Let's see if we can get something a little bit more interesting for this next job. Concrete beams. Wow. How exciting. I didn't actually press that. That hasn't accepted the job, has it? Because I don't want to... Okay, I don't actually want to take that job. I might get my trailer back, actually. It's occurred to me, because no one else is in the convoy right now, I can do a job with my own trailer. Let's head to... Oh, actually, wait. Yeah, let's head back to... We'll head back to our main garage in Romania. Garage manager. Cry over. Let's go. Not your fault if you weren't seen doing it, says Thomas Antics. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I don't know if that'll hold up in court, but... Okay. Trailer manager. Maybe we should go for the low loader. Because I think low loaders have the most interesting cargo, to be honest. With like a box liner or whatever, you can't see the cargo in the trailer, you know? Whereas with a flat trailer, you can see what you're carrying. You big into cars? Not really, Thomas Antics. I'm not really a car person, to be honest with you. Trucks, trains, and tractors. Those are my big three. Not in that order, though. Trains, tractors, and trucks. In that order. From highest to lowest. Are the mods on Euro Truck free, or do you have to pay for them? Most of them are free, Draydog. There are some paid mods out there, but I honestly wouldn't recommend them, because when there's so much free stuff out there, I don't see the point in spending money on paid mods. ProMods is completely free. If you go to Trucky Mods, there's some really, really great content there. Yeah, again, there are paid mods, but I'd just stick to the free ones, because there's some really great free content out there. Oh no, I need cargo market, sorry. Let's go price per distance this time. Not a helicopter. Flashbacks. Oh, why are all these jobs so long? I'm not going to Tel Aviv, fuck that. Serbia. That's not very far. A fire engine to Serbia. I've just bought my first PC the other day. Any ideas for a first wheel, says JR. It depends on your budget, JR, but if you want to go for the absolute bare minimum, get this one. This wheel here is the Logitech G Heavy Equipment wheel. It costs just £230 for the wheel, the side panel, and 2 pedals. It's very cheap. There's no force feedback. The wheel is just plastic. There's no leather padding or anything like that, but it does its job. And it's a really great wheel for beginners because it's cheap and it does what it says on the tin. Again, if you've got a bit of a bigger budget and you can afford to go for a higher end wheel, there's some really great options out there. But this was the first wheel I bought about 4 years ago. I've still got it now. It's still going strong. I am looking to replace it at some point because, again, it is quite cheap. But the fact that I've been using it for 4 years and it's still in working order and, you know, I'm still getting a lot of enjoyment from it, I think is a very, you know, I think is a testament to how good it is. Again, it's not big budget. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't have leather padding. It's nothing fancy, but it's cheap and it's cheerful, and I think it's pretty good. Favorite class of engine, says Thomas Antics. Good question, Thomas Antics. If we're talking British, I am a big fan of the Deltic. Huge Deltic fan. I'm also quite into Japanese trains as well. My favourite Japanese loco is the EF64. If anyone is interested in Japanese trains, or British trains for that matter. But I'm more of a diesel fan, to be honest. I'm not really that big on Steam. Oh, thanks for following Takoda Wire. Mine's probably a GWR 14XX. Oh, good choice. Good choice. I do like GWR. How are you doing, Takoda? I like GWR, but as a Doncaster resident, you know, I am in LNER territory, and I'm a big fan of some of the LNER engines. I'm not that big of a fan of Flying Scotsman, to be quite honest. I think it's a little bit overrated. But Mallard, love that shit. Fastest steam engine ever built, by the way. Built in my hometown, which is something to be proud of. But yeah, like I say, as a Doncaster resident, I'm very much a fan of LNER in particular. Thomas Antic says, I'm very deep into GWR territory. I think it definitely does depend on where you live. If you're into trains, you tend to be more into trains that you actually see in your local area, you know? So it makes sense, you know, if you live in the Western area, that you'd be more into Great Western trains. And, you know, me being in Doncaster, I'm more into the LNER stuff. Have you seen the new LNERs come in 2027? I have, Punters, yes. There's a new, I think it's a tri-mode train coming to LNER next year. I don't know if it's Hitachi that built it again. but it's going to be diesel, electric, and battery powered, so it can, it can switch between operating modes. Okay, I'm going to have to back all the way out because I've kind of come in the wrong way here. I forgot that we had a trailer and we're going to have to awkwardly reverse. My local heritage line runs Pitchford Hall most open days. Cool, Thomas Antics. There aren't really any heritage lines close to Doncaster. I think the closest is probably the Keighley and Worth Valley, but I am just down the road from from the National Railway Museum, so I've been there so many times. Huge fan. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Skoda says, lurking a bit, searching players using map mods to get feedback about how well those run, bugs, compatibility, etc. Creating a guide for new players. Well, I am using ProMods at the minute. I have used other map mods in the past, but right now I've got a fairly light mod pack, so I'm just using ProMods, ProMods Middle East, and ProMods The Great Step. Those are the only map mods that I've got right now. You finally unblocked me, says William Banks. It's a new account, William, so clean slate. I think it's a Spanish company. Oh, Spanish company. It's not Alstom. No, Alstom's not Spanish, are they? I don't know. I know the names of the companies, I just don't know what countries they belong to. Why the new account? Thanks for following, by the way, William. My old account got shadow banned. That's why I've started a new one. Maghreb, says Dakota. No, not right now. Like I say, right now it's literally just ProMods. I have used Maghreb in the past. We actually had a huge map combo before where I was using Heart of Africa, Horn of Africa, Beyond, loads and loads of other stuff. I might even be able to dig out my old mod list for you. But right now it's literally just ProMods. Anyway, we've got our fire engine. And we're taking it to Serbia. Let's go. Oh, it's CAF! Of course, CAF. Or CAF. Is it CAF or CAF? I honestly don't know. I've never heard anyone say it out loud. But CAF are the people who make the class 331 and 195, which are currently in operation with Northern. And again, obviously, I'm in Northern Territory, so I've seen and experienced quite a few of those. I said CAF when reading it. Yeah, I would say CAF, honestly. Hi, Chipsky, how are you doing? Are you using the mod that hides the green floating steins? I am, Dakota, yes. It's called HN Immersive Symbols. It hides any non-diegetic... Well, any symbols that are like... I don't know if non-diegetic's the right word, but you know what I mean. It hides like the glowing green icons and stuff like that. It replaces them with more subtle markers. Some ScotRails from Edinburgh as well. Oh, is the what's the one? I know which one you mean. There is a ScotRail. There are some ScotRail locos or EMUs made by CAF. Northern are treacherous, especially when going Newcastle to the metro centre. Well, that's just Northern though, isn't it, to be honest? Diesel ones are horrible, the electric ones are alright. Ah, okay. I think the diesel ones might be on the way out, to be honest, because just this year, with the December 2025 timetable change, they've removed 195s from the Doncaster to Leeds route, and it's 333s on there now, which were previously on the Airedale and Wharfdale. We're talking about trains, by the way, if you're just tuning in. It's incredibly boring, I apologise. But yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the 195s had quite a short lifespan. Trains are not boring, says Dakota. Well, not to me, they're not. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who don't find trains boring, but some people do. So I'm just warning you, if you're not into trains, then this conversation might not be for you. Thinking of getting Train Sim... Oh, Train Sim Worlds. You should, punters. It's a good game. I mean, I prefer Train Sim Classic. I've been very vocal about this in the past. I definitely think that Train Sim Classic is the superior game. I don't think Train Sim World's a bad game, but I don't think it's quite as good as people make it out to be. I think it just looks flashier, and people therefore equate that to it being a better game, which I don't think's the case. It does look better than Train Sim Classic, but I prefer the experience of Train Sim Classic. Could I get Azumas on Classic? You can get the Azuma on Classic, yes. In fact, Armstrong Powerhouse do an incredible enhancement pack for the Class 800s. Not only the Azumas, but the Great Western ones and Transpennine ones as well. Unfortunately, not free. Train Sim's in a very unique area because third-party paid content is encouraged, so there's quite a lot of paid third-party mods, and some of it is like really high quality. Genuinely, Armstrong Powerhouse, the quality of the stuff that they make is higher than the stuff in the game itself, in my opinion. So it's definitely worth the money. But yeah, they do have quite a big catalogue of paid mod content. The thing is, Train Sim Classic is one of those games where I would recommend getting paid third-party content. Like I was saying earlier, with Euro Truck, I think there's enough good free stuff that you don't really need to spend money on paid mods, but with Train Sim, there's some really, really good paid third-party content for it. Punter says, first got my PC, I spent £90 on Gumroad mods. As I told you, I've not used them and can't get refunded. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that, Punters. Like I say, with Train Sim, I do recommend getting paid mods. They are definitely worth it. But if it's the Azumas that you want to drive and you want to be in the LNER region, then I would recommend get the base game, get the London to Peterborough, and then get the 800 enhancement pack from Armstrong Powerhouse. If you get the 3 of those, you can have some great runs on the East Coast Main Line with the Azuma. You can get the rest of the East Coast Main Line as well, but it's split up into different routes that are all payware. So if you want to drive the full route, you will have to spend a little bit more money. Could I get London to Edinburgh? You can, but like I say, it's separate routes. There's London to Peterborough, Peterborough to York, York to Newcastle, and Newcastle to Edinburgh. So that's 4 different routes that you would have to buy. But if you buy all four, if you did buy all four of them, there's a free mod that you can get that merges them all into one route. So you could drive end to end, like in one go. For the Azuma and that route, how much would it cost me? I honestly don't know, punters. It's been so long since I spent money on those bits for Train Sim. Like, those were some of the first things that I bought when I first got Train Sim, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago now. What I will say is that you can find... Not that I'm encouraging it, but you can find them for a good price in certain places. Like CD keys, for example. But I'm not endorsing that. Retired tube driver says, I find it weird as trains are more responsive when certain switches are used. Yeah, I get that. Retired tube driver. I would love to have an accurate train sim setup. Unfortunately, I just don't have the space for it. Like, all of this truck gear takes up so much space on my desk, I wouldn't have space to have a train setup as well. So I just end up playing train sim with a keyboard and mouse. But it would be really great to get all the peripherals for that one day. Gotta say, your home looks so cozy. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you. I like to keep it nice and cozy in here. I'll tell you what, punters. Don't buy anything just yet. Give me a message on Discord after, and I'll see if I can help you figure out which DLCs you need to buy if you want to drive the ECML. What time is it anyway? 22. Okay, we are now entering Serbia. Don't you dare not open right now. Don't you dare do this to me again. Don't you fucking dare do this to me again. I am having so much trouble with toll booths today. Can I get through? Why is this one not opening either? How? Okay, we're gonna have to shunt that car behind us just a little bit to squeeze past it. Sorry. Doesn't this count as an emergency vehicle because I'm transporting a fire engine? What if I put the lights on the fire engine? Could I go through then? Okay. I just had to go around. It was as simple as that. Of course, the signage wasn't clear enough, but never mind. I've just accepted at this point that the signage will never be clear enough. You better hope you don't pass me in the street, says Arc666. I mean, I'm going to assume that that's a threat, but unless you live in Doncaster, the chances of that happening anyway are incredibly slim. Bought ATS, it's actually quite good, but I'd like to have all the map expansions. Honestly, that's one of the reasons that I haven't bought ATS yet, because every time it's on sale, I'm tempted to finally buy it, but I know that if I buy it, I'm gonna want to buy all of the map expansions as well, and I just don't have the money for that right now. One day. And the thing is as well, they don't have a complete bundle. It's really annoying to me. There is no complete bundle for American Truck Simulator. You can't just buy the game and all the map expansions. There's like a few different bundles, but they just pick and choose which map expansions to include in them. There's no one single bundle that includes all of the map expansions, which is really annoying. Is your wheel force feedback? It isn't, Jake. Sorry. Sorry I didn't see that comment earlier. No, my wheel doesn't have any force feedback. Let's get some fuel. Okay, whereabouts are we? Okay, we're nearly there. Oh no, actually, we're not. I didn't notice that the road goes south. Okay, we're still quite a while away, actually. While we're on the subject of trains, by the way, I mean, the subject has passed right now, but it's still relevant. While we're on the subject of trains, the makers of Train Sim World just a couple of days ago announced a new game called Wonders of Sodor, which is going to be an open world Thomas and Friends game, built in the same engine as Train Sim Worlds, which honestly I think is pretty cool. I've been open in the past about the fact that I am a bit of a Thomas fan. It was a big part of my childhood, and you know, I mean, I don't really sit down and watch the show or anything as an adult, but I still appreciate it for what it was. And you know, I've done plenty of piano covers of some of the music from the early seasons of the show. I think the idea of being able to visit the actual island of Sodor in a video game and just explore it as like an open world game, I think that's pretty cool. So I might genuinely give it a try. I might take a look at it when it comes out, which should be later this year. I think a lot of older rail fans have this kind of stuck-up attitude about Thomas and Friends, because it's, you know, it's a kids show, it's children's media, etc., etc. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Thomas wasn't a huge part of my childhood, and you know, it wasn't the biggest reason that I'm into trains as an adult. You know, it was such a huge part of my life growing up, and like I say, literally the main reason that I like trains so much today is because I grew up watching Thomas and Friends. Did you ever watch Chuggington as a kid? I didn't watch Chuggington, Charlie. No, Chuggington was a little bit after my time. My younger brother and sister used to watch it. They're 18 and 19 now. But like I say, it was a bit after my time. Thomas was really my thing. And Thomas is a lot more accurate as well. I just want to say. That's another thing. I feel like people don't appreciate how detailed the universe of Thomas is, because the Reverend Wilbur Awdry, who created the original book series, was a huge fan of trains himself, and there's so much detail and accuracy in that world. Every single story from the original book series is based on a real event. Like, every single crash, every single incident, every story in every book is based on something that actually happened to a real train on a real railway. It's really crazy how much detail there is. There's a lore book. There is literally a Thomas and Friend... There's a Railway series lore book. The Railway series, aka Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, has its own Silmarillion. Literally. That's how in-depth the series is. And I feel like it doesn't get a lot of credit. You know, I feel like a lot of people still look at it and think, oh yeah, it's a kids show, you know? Oh, it's a train with a face that talks. How childish. But genuinely, there's so much lore. The Thomas lore runs deep, let me tell you. Multiplayer, says CK Games. Yes, it is actually multiplayer right now. I am hosting a convoy. You are welcome to join, but you will need to get ProMods and a couple of other bits and pieces. There's information in the Discord server if you're interested. Thanks for the roses, Daniel. Oh, it's starting to get a bit foggy again. Been watching and just noticed the rear view mirrors, says Max. Oh yes, we gotta keep an eye on those rear view mirrors. In fact, I'm going to put my window down because it's raining and it's harder to see the mirrors in the rain. There's a helicopter up there. Look at that. Cool. Oh, thunder, lightning. I wouldn't be flying that if I were you, mate. Can you put a mirror on the left-hand side too, so you don't have to move the whole screen? You can, Daniel. Yes. There's a. I forget which button it is. F4? No, F2. Yeah. If I press F2, I can. There's a little window that pops up with the left mirror on it, and there's also one for the right mirror. I like the screen to have as little UI as possible on it though, so I prefer like turning to look and see what's going on in the mirror. But yeah, if you want to have the left mirror on screen at all times, you can do that. Oh, whoa, there's a toll booth here. Whoa, I did not notice that at all. That came out of nowhere. Each their own. Need to buy a gaming PC, but don't know where to start, says Daniel. Honestly, I would recommend getting a pre-built if it's your first one. I've still never built my own PC. The one that I've got right now was a custom order, but you can buy pre-built ones. I wouldn't recommend if you've never owned a PC before. I wouldn't recommend like jumping straight in and trying to build your own. Definitely not. But honestly, most PC websites, like most PC sellers, they'll have stuff on their website where you can tell them what kind of games you want to play and what kind of performance you want to get out of it, and then they'll recommend something to you. Like if you want to play the latest Call of Duty, for example, you can put that in on the website and it'll like recommend the PC that's gonna best perform on that game. Or you can get something that's like a good all-rounder, you know. Okay, we're nearly here. Nearly here. Big games like this and GTA, etc. I'd say GTA. Think about, well, the best thing to do is think about the most demanding game that you're going to play on it. Like, what game are you most likely to play? What game will you play that's going to be the most resource intensive? I'd say GTA probably would take the top spot there. If we're talking about GTA 6 especially, you're gonna want to make sure that you've got something that will be able to keep up with that. So yeah, that's what I do. You know, go to your whichever websites you might want to look at. There's loads of different websites out there where you can buy pre-built PCs. But yeah, choose GTA as like your benchmark game, and it'll recommend PCs that are suited for it. Takoda says, I'm so much older than you and also grew up in South America, sorry. Did not know anything about Thomas until I saw a mod for Skyrim that turned all the dragons into Thomas. I've seen that mod. But yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with Thomas as a kid. And still am, if we're being quite honest. Like I say, I don't think there's any shame in that. I don't really get the stigma around it, to be honest. I don't get why so many older Train fans have this kind of chip on their shoulder about Thomas. Like, an entire generation of Train fans were raised on Thomas. You know, there is literally an entire generation of kids in the UK and other countries who are only interested in trains because they grew up watching Thomas the Tank. And that's something that should be celebrated, you know? A good match to the real world weather in Games Day. It is the Kraken Wakes. Yeah, I saw on the news that apparently it hasn't not rained in the UK this year. Every single day this year, it's rained somewhere in the UK, which is insane. I mean, look, we live in a rainy country, but come on, this is next level rain. Thankfully, it's not rained here today, but it has been rainy the last few days. Oh, look, another fire truck. Oh, this one to Frankfurt. That's quite a long way. I think we'll pass up that one. Let's go JCB Excavator to Albania. Why not? It has in Rotherham for most of the day. That's a shame, Daniel. answer me, says William. Well, it would help if you asked a question first, William. That's usually how it goes. The question comes first and then the answer. I did. Well, you didn't, because there isn't a question in the chat. Unless, or are they oranges, is a question. But to me, that's kind of like the second half of a question. Was there a first half? I mean, if you just walked up to someone on the street and said, or are they oranges? I don't think they'd be able to give you an answer, because it's not a complete question, is it? Takoda says, no shame in enjoying things that matter to us. There's a poem by Thomas Dillon, and it ends, the ball I threw while playing in the park has not yet reached the ground. We should never stop playing and enjoying the simplest things. I agree. I agree. I think you get to a certain age in life and you just desperately want to put your childhood behind you, you know? And I think it takes a long time to realise that it's okay to enjoy the things that you enjoyed when you were a kid. It's okay to still have a sentimental attachment to those kind of things. I think, to be honest, I think it's teenage years. I think it's the teenage years. You kind of go through that period where, like, oh, I'm a teenager now. That's basically an adult. I'm not interested in things like Thomas the Tank anymore, because those are for babies. And I feel like some people never get over that stage. So some people, they get to their teenage years, they think to themselves, right, I'm not allowed to enjoy any of that stuff anymore because it's for kids, and they never get past that. But for me personally, there came a stage, you know, when I was like 20, 21, 22-ish, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? It's fine for me to still enjoy the things that I enjoyed when I was a kid. They were a huge part of my life. Like I say, I think some people are just very quick and very desperate to put those things behind them because they see them as childish. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with being attached to something that you got into as a kid. There's nothing wrong with being an adult who still likes Thomas the Tank Engine. There's nothing wrong with being an adult who's into, I don't know, Hello Kitty or whatever else. You know, it's fine. You're an adult. You can be into whatever you want. Like I say, I think some people are just still stuck in that teenage mindset of, no, I'm not allowed to enjoy that because it's for kids. But it's fine, honestly, you're allowed. No one's going to be mad at you. Well, some people might be mad at you, but their opinion is not worthwhile. Draydog says, the number of shows they do these days, I realised how many Thomas the Tank Engine reboots they've done. They have done a few. There's a new one coming this year, actually. I think the last reboot ended in 2024. It was by far the least popular and least successful, but they're bringing it back again this year. There's another CGI series coming out. I mean, we all know that what people really want is another model series, but that is literally never going to happen. Do you remember when kids' TV shows were done with models and puppets and claymation? That is literally never going to happen again. We're never going to get to that point in history again where the majority of TV shows, the majority of kids' TV shows are made using practical effects and models and stuff. Because companies are too greedy these days and CGI is cheap. Like, when I was a kid, Postman Pat was done with models, Fireman Sam was done with models, Thomas was done with models, Bob the Builder was done with models. All of those are CGI now. And you might get the odd 1 or 2 TV shows made with models these days, but the vast majority of them are going to be CGI. And we're never going to get back to the level of quality that we had back then. Because CGI is cheap and easy. And I'm not trying to slate CGI. I think CGI is great. I think, you know, people who do CGI, there's just as much skill and effort that goes into making good CGI. But bad CGI is very cheap and easy to make, which is why there's so much of it, you know? Dennis the Menace as well, Drake. Yeah, Dennis the Menace. God, that I haven't like really watched it because again, it's like past my time. But I've seen snippets of like the new Dennis the Menace series, and it's a husk of its former self. Let's be quite honest. It ain't what it used to be. As soon as you mentioned puppets, I remembered Thunderbirds or whatever it's called. They did a CGI series of that as well, didn't they? Basically, think of any kids show from your childhood that was done with models. It still exists today, but it's done with CGI. I guarantee it. Whatever TV show you grew up watching, it still exists now, but it's CGI. Oh, wait, hang on. Slight detour. I want to get this. I want to get this waypoint up here. This viewpoint. Lucky to have made a mini living / side hustle from my childhood obsession. That is so great. The Kraken Wakes, honestly. I think if you can. You know the old saying, if you enjoy what you do, then you'll never work a day in your life. I would really love to... I mean, I love what I do here on TikTok, but obviously it's not really a career thing. What I really want to be doing is game development. That has always been like a childhood dream of mine, to make my own games. And I'll get there one day, you know. I've done various prototypes in the past, and I've got various ideas bouncing around in here. But yeah, the idea of being able to get paid to do something that I really love is so great. And I do envy people who genuinely do get to have their dream job. Where are you right now in the map? It's so beautiful. We're in Serbia. I forget exactly where we are. I think it just said on the bottom right, but I wasn't paying attention. But we're in Serbia. It is a beautiful place. This is from the West Balkans DLC. Absolutely gorgeous. I should have a drink whilst the game's doing this. Okay, that was Nids, which is in Serbia. It was very nice, very beautiful. Wait, where are we? Okay, I know where we're going. For some reason it's trying to make me go up this road here, but I'm just going to do a U-turn and go back down. I've recently started watching a sci-fi show called The 100. I'm so into that, I'm almost in season 3. I want to watch The 100, Draydog. No spoilers, please. But it's a show that's been on my radar for a while and I've never gotten around to it. To be honest, there's quite a few sci-fi shows in particular that are on my watch list that I just haven't gotten around to. I've not watched Severance yet. I really want to watch that, which I guess counts as sci-fi. The 100, like you said. There's another... What else? Oh, the Orville. I've never watched the Orville. And a mate of mine told me that I'd love it. Because it's sci-fi comedy, which is a very rare thing. So there isn't a lot of sci-fi comedy out there, you know? They're two genres that aren't paired together as often as they should be, in my opinion. Obviously, huge Red Dwarf fan. I think Red Dwarf is quite literally the best sci-fi comedy ever made. I think it's the perfect blend of science fiction and comedy. Again, they're two things that don't often go together, and it can be hard to get the balance right. They were meant to do a prequel to the 100, but they scrapped the idea for some reason. Oh, well, don't talk to me about scrapped prequels or sequels. I'll tell you what's good. Humans. Have you ever seen Humans? If you haven't, go ahead and watch it. It's really great. It's actually based on a show called Being Human, which I think was a German sci-fi drama. But Humans was a Channel 4 series. It's really good. I don't want to spoil anything, but the basic premise is that it's in a parallel future where human-like androids exist. They're called synths, and they're like indistinguishable visually from humans. It's a really great series, really like thought-provoking, you know, and it's got Gemma Chan in it, and she's great. And also loads of other great people. Catherine Parkinson's in it. Who else is in it? I forget because it's been like 5 years since I watched it, but it's a really good series. It's a really good drama. Oh, the job's expired because I took so long to get here. Shit. I'm not going back to Georgia. Let's do this one. Biak. Which is in BIH. What's BIH? Oh, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, let's do that. Humans, they're everywhere, says Dakota. Good point. You're a good chatter, by the way. I enjoy the conversation you generate. Thank you very much. I try. Dystopian future doesn't sound so fictional anymore, considering... honestly, that's true. Like, humans... We're very close to that being a reality. I mean, with the rise of AI and, you know, God knows how many countries developing, like, human-looking robots, I honestly don't think it's going to be that long before robots are literally walking amongst us and they're indistinguishable from humans. It's a scary thought, but I genuinely think we're not far from that being a reality. Like, it's already pretty jarring, like, when you're speaking to someone on the internet and you get in the sense that, you know, is this an AI that I'm speaking to right now? But imagine if that was an actual person. Imagine if if you were stood face to face with someone and you aren't sure if the person that you're talking to is a human or a machine. That's a terrifying prospect, and we are so close to it being a reality. It's it's honestly quite scary. Like Detroit Become Human? Exactly. Or that's the thing. Science fiction, I think the vast majority of science fiction, if it's like future science fiction, it has this weird clairvoyancy to it, you know. like, there's so many things. You can go and watch any sci-fi show, really, and even though it was made like 20, 30 years ago, it's oddly prescient, you know? Like, again, going back to Red Dwarf, the very first series of Red Dwarf from, like, 1988, there's an episode where Lister talks about his friend owning a pair of smart shoes, and the shoes one day got bored of walking to the pub, so the shoes just went off on their own whilst the guy was wearing them. And, you know, in 1988, that was just a great bit of comedy. Like, wow, imagine if shoes had intelligence and they could just go walking on their own. You fast forward to 2026, that could happen. We're so close to that being a thing that could happen. And that's the thing for me about futuristic science fiction, is it's a prediction. It's not just fantasy, it's a prediction of the future, and you'd be surprised how close that future might be. Have you watched Stranger Things, says Daniel. I haven't actually watched Stranger Things, believe it or not. I've wanted to. It's one of those shows that I've wanted to watch for a while, but the longer I left it, the more and more of the show there was. And now it's like this whole, you know, there's so much of it. It's kind of the same with Black Mirror. I only really watched the first series of Black Mirror, and I've always wanted to watch, you know, get up to date with it. But they're still making it. There's still more and more of it. And it's, like, really daunting getting into a new franchise when there's just so much content there, you know? So it's one of those things. I want to watch it. I will probably watch it eventually, but it's just quite daunting getting into such a big show. Black Mirror doesn't have so many episodes, you could do it. I like I say, I would like to. I would like to. I think I've watched the first 2 series. I remember the one with Domhnall Gleeson. It's actually about androids, right? Well, not androids per se, but this... Spoilers for Black Mirror. This woman, her boyfriend dies in a car crash, and she orders an android that looks exactly like him, and ends up like having really weird feelings about it because it looks exactly like her boyfriend who's dead, but it's not actually him. It's a great episode. I think that's from the second series. That's the most recent one that I remember watching. The other thing about Black Mirror as well is the very first episode is such I mean, it throws you in at the deep end. If you've not watched Black Mirror, the very first episode is absolutely wild. It really doesn't, like, ease you in at all. I can't watch multiple series at once, I can only watch one at a time. Honestly, I'm the same, to be honest, Daniel. If I'm watching something, I need to be concentrating on that one thing. You know, if I wanted to watch Black Mirror all the way through, I just wouldn't be able to watch anything else until I'd finished it. What's the AC stand for in Ashendak? Oh, it's short for account. Ashbridge Industries account. Good, isn't it? It's catchy. I used it as my Steam username. In fact, no, I think the very first time I used it was for Minecraft. I had a very embarrassing username on Minecraft, and I bought Minecraft back when you couldn't change your username, so I was stuck with a shit username for like 5 years. But once the ability to change usernames became a thing, I used Ashendak, like I say, short for Ashbridge Industries account, and it just kind of stuck. I've just used it for everything since. It's my Steam name, it's my name on various social media platforms, it's my Discord username. I like it. I think it's quite snappy. What's with the street sign in the background, says Punters? That sign back there is it's from a level crossing. It says automatic barriers stop when lights show. I don't know where it came from, but when my granddad died, we found it in his shed. So I kept it. I suspect there is, down the road from me, there used to be a level crossing. There's like a country lane that had a level crossing on it, but it got removed. Like, there's no crossing there anymore. I suspect that the sign might have come from there. But I genuinely don't know exactly how he acquired it or when. I just found it in his shed, and I thought, you know, I like trains. Why not have a sign from a level crossing in my room? That's pretty cool. So that's where that came from. Still here? Nice one, Charlie. Don't know where it came from, says Dakota. No, genuinely. Like I say, I mean, it was in my granddad's shed. He obviously got it from somewhere. Like I say, I think I know where it came from. I don't know when exactly he acquired it, but he did, and that's how it came to be in my possession. Oh yeah, my number plate's Ashendak as well, I forgot. I guess that's why you mentioned it, Takoda. I completely forgot that I've got my Ashendak number plate here. My dad got me that for Christmas, because I've got a vanity plate in the truck that says Ashendak. Okay, 8 hours 56. I think we should be able to get this job done before the end of the stream. Do you drive in real life? And if not, do you plan on learning? I don't drive in real life, Punters, no, and I don't plan to. I don't really have any need to. Doncaster has pretty decent public transport, and I don't really need to travel anywhere far enough that I'd need to have a car. To me, it's just an unnecessary expense. I feel like if I had a car, I probably wouldn't drive it very often and it'd just sit there. So it doesn't really make sense to me to spend all that money on road tax and MOT and fuel prices and insurance and everything else. I'm quite happy to use public transport when I need it. If money was no object, I'd quite like to drive, but again, I just don't really want or need to, so I don't. That used to be the big town of dreams for me as a kid. Oh, Doncaster? Yeah, well, it's a city now. It's the city of dreams. It's alright. It's alright. I mean, it's not the best place in the world. I don't want to live here my entire life, but it could be worse. At least it's not Swindon. And I'm allowed to say that because I've got a friend who lives in Swindon, and apparently it really is terrible. Anyone who lives in Swindon, if you can confirm. But honestly, if I could live anywhere in the UK, I would like to live in Bath. Obviously, I went to university in Bath. It is the most gorgeous place. I think one of the most beautiful cities in the UK. It's a very expensive city to live in, which is why after university I moved back up to Doncaster. But if I had the money for it, I would absolutely love to live in Bath. Such a gorgeous place. Grew up in Retford, so that was the big place to go shopping, the massive Woolies. Oh yeah, the big Woolies in Frenchgate. Good times. Good times. Have you been recently, Kraken Wakes? I'm from Berwick, and it's quite nice to people not from here, but for me it's quite boring. I think, yeah, I think that's true of a lot of places, punters. It's like living at the seaside, you know. Everyone thinks, you know, whoa, it'd be so great to live at the seaside. But if you live there, if you actually live at the seaside and you wake up every day and the sea's outside your window, eventually you just look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's, wow, it's the sea again. Cool. It gets old, you know. And Berwick is on the sea, so yeah, I do take your point. But I think everyone has that attitude of, you know, the grass is always greener. You know, living somewhere and visiting it are two very different things, right? Went about 5 years ago to a toy fair. Was a bit different to how I remembered, and the dome wasn't quite as massive. Yeah, the dome is a shell of its former self, to be honest. As is most of Doncaster. We crave what we don't have. Exactly, Dakota. That's a good way of putting it. Only good thing is the McDonald's, which smells at times, and the old castle, which you can train spot. Oh, to be fair, Doncaster, very good for train spotting. Obviously, East Coast Main Line. Doncaster is one of the... It's not one of the busiest stations in the country, but it's one of the most served stations in the country, if that makes sense. Because it's served by LNER, Northern, East Midlands Railway, TransPennine Express, Hull Trains, Grand Central, and Lumo. That's 7 different operators. There's only one other station in the country that's served by that many operators, which is Crewe. So yeah, it's a really great place for train spotting. Again, sorry to take the conversation back to trains, but if you like trains, Doncaster, or basically anywhere on the East Coast Main Line, good place for train spotting. Right, oh, cross-country as well, so that's 8, yeah, 8. That were a close call. Still has my football team, and I got lost in Frenchgate since they expanded it. Yeah, Frenchgate's huge now. Frenchgate is massive. I mean, it's no Meadowhall. I still go to Meadowhall for, like, if I want like a day out shopping, I'll go to Meadowhall. It's kind of like what we were saying earlier, you know, because I live in Doncaster, I go to Frenchgate all the time. So if I want to, like, make an occasion of it and, like, go shopping, I'll go to Meadowhall. But yeah, Frenchgate is pretty big now. Dakota says, yesterday I watched a YouTube video about Chongqing East Railway Station in China. Madness, real madness. Honestly, the Chinese railway network is insane. It's actually so crazy to look at how quickly the Chinese rail network has like been brought up to date. Because 10 years ago, China was like one of the only countries on Earth that still used steam trains on like regular passenger services. And you fast forward to today, and they've got maglevs, they've got ultra high speed trains going all over the place. It is crazy how quickly China's railways evolved. Whereas our railways kind of stagnated. Berwick has like 2 famous people from it. Lucy Bronze, the first select right back for England women's team, and a runner called Guy Learmonth, who ran in the Commonwealth. Ah, cool. There's a few big names from Doncaster. Obviously, I think everyone knows Jeremy Clarkson is from Doncaster. Louis Tomlinson from One Direction, he's from Doncaster. There's quite a few famous Doncastrians out there. Krakenwake says, I have a fear of Meadowhall as I worked there for 4 years. Christmas time in a toy shop was manic. Oh god. Christmas in retail, or Christmas in any service job, is terrible. I did Christmas at McDonald's during my first year at uni. That was an absolute nightmare. I also did Christmas at TGI Fridays a couple of years ago. Oof. I've taken a wrong turn again, haven't I? I was supposed to go through there. Shit. Yeah, fortunately, I've never actually worked retail. I've been lucky enough to avoid retail, but I've worked service jobs. I've worked in restaurants and stuff, and it's kind of, it's a similar thing. It's not exactly the same, but you know, you get you know the kind of customers that you get are basically the same. You can always tell as well, you can always tell if someone's ever worked in retail by how they treat retail workers. Anyone who's spent more than 5 minutes working in a service-related job, you just get this level of respect for service workers. And it's immediately obvious when people haven't done that kind of work before because they're complete arseholes. Daniel says, the wife wants to go to Frenchgate tomorrow, dreading that. Oh dear. Good luck. Andy Serkis from Lancaster. I'm not actually sure where Andy Serkis is from. Krakenwakes, I got told I ruined about 20 kids' Christmases not having stuff in stock. Hopefully they're over it. No, I had, like I say, at TGI Fridays, I had a similar experience, because we'd quite often get, you know, TGI Fridays is one of those restaurants where you have to book in advance. If you're just like going with 2 or 3 people, you can normally get a table, but I worked on the door, so I was managing, like, as people came in, I was taking them to their tables. I cannot tell you the amount of times that someone would come in with 10 kids and expect to be seated. Like, the restaurant is completely full. No, I cannot seat you and 10 kids right now. You should have booked a table if you wanted to bring a party of 10. Or the worst part, no. I'll tell you the worst part. The worst part is when there's an empty table, but it's being saved for someone who has reserved. Like, for example, if there's a big party coming in at 2 o'clock, I would reserve a table. Like, half an hour early, I would make sure there's an empty table ready for that big party coming in. And you would always get someone who'd come along with like 4 or 5 friends, and they would point. They would actually point. They would go, wait, there's a table there. They would point at the table and be like, there's a table. Why can't I sit there? And no matter how many times you try to explain to them that that table is reserved for a massive party that's going to be here in about 20 minutes, they just will not listen. They won't. They can't comprehend it. And then they'll turn around and storm out, muttering under their breath like, "Oh, right, you've just lost a customer." Like, I don't care. I don't care. We got a party of 10 coming in half an hour who are going to be sitting at that table. I don't care that we've lost your custom. Moral of the story is, service jobs suck because customers almost exclusively are arseholes. And that's all I have to say about that. I've said my piece. I've vented. Similar to the "can you check this in the back?" Yes, but there definitely isn't one in there. Yep. Oh, like I say, again, whenever there's seasonal items on the menu, you'll get people coming in and ordering stuff that just isn't on the menu anymore. Especially at McDonald's, that was a big problem, because McDonald's, like, cycles their menu very frequently. Every now and then, you'll get a customer coming in and asking for something that just is not on the menu. And they'll be like, "Oh, but it was on the menu last week." Yes, it was, but the menu has now changed, and it's no longer available. Like, you can keep asking for it all you want. We do not serve that burger anymore. You can't have it. Done a paper route for 3 years. Great, made good money at Christmas. Done dishes in a chippy for a week. I hated it. Don't know where to work. Honestly, there aren't really any good options at that age. You kind of just got to take what you can and grin and bear it. Ultimately, I think a service job is probably going to be where you end up. Like I say, my first job was at McDonald's. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But it's not the most I mean, service jobs in general, they're just not the most enjoyable jobs in the world because customers are just generally not very good. Again, you can always tell if someone has worked a service job before by how they treat service workers, you know? Like, when someone comes in, you can immediately tell by the way that they treat you whether they've done this kind of work before, because once you've done that kind of work yourself, you really appreciate the position that the workers are in, you know? Anyway, we are about 5 hours in-game away. We got 25 minutes left. Can we make it to Bosnia and Herzegovina? I'm genuinely not sure, but we'll keep driving and we'll see if we can do it. The customer's always right, says Dakota. I know you're being sarcastic, Dakota, but oh my god, the amount of customers who genuinely believe that. I can tell you right now, the customer is almost never right. Service jobs are a good way to help deal with to learn how to deal with stuff in life afterwards. That's a good point as well, Kraken Waits. I do think a service job, it kind of prepares you for the kind of people that you're going to interact with in the real world. You know, it gives you not necessarily people skills, but more like how to handle people skills. I want to be an engineer in F1 Motorsport. That is such a cool ambition to have, punters. My local vehicle dealers, if I can do summer jobs, getting hands-on experience, that would be the best way to go, I think. You know, if you can get some experience working in a garage, that would be like a really good place to start. That's such a cool dream job to have, though, an F1 engineer, and it's totally achievable. You know, you're in a good place to start. You just gotta take the right steps. You know. The quote usually goes, "The customer's always right in matters of taste." That's true, Max. Yes, the original quote is, "The customer's always right in matters of taste." In other words, the customer knows what they want, which is fine. You're allowed to know what you want, but I'm allowed to tell you that we don't have it. Why is the indicator still on? I'm in year 10, and if I took my GCSE now for engineering, I'd be expected to get a 7, which is a B, or roundabout for the old marking scheme. That's not bad. That's not bad, punters. So you are doing engineering, like you're already studying it. I don't think we really need to sleep right now. Took engineering, working with metal and product design, which is wooden history. I did product design, but I was more focused on the graphical side of it because I wanted to do computer science. But yeah, I did GCSE product design. In fact, I did A-level product design. I didn't do very well. But I got a degree, so it all worked out. Time you live until, Saul? I'm live until 7, sorry, Daniel. So another 20 minutes or so. But yeah, I did really well on my GCSEs, but then my A-levels were not quite as good. I think I got C. I think my highest grade at A-level was a C. And I got 2 C's, a D, and an E, which is terrible. I was very lucky because I'd already got an unconditional offer from Bath's Bar, so I was still able to go to uni, and I did quite well at uni. I got a 2-1. But yeah, for some reason, I did well on my GCSEs. I did well at university. It was just the A levels I, for some reason, struggled with. I guess I just wasn't really ready for them, because I think A-level is the first time that you're kind of thrown in at the deep end a bit more with study. Obviously GCSE, very formal lesson structure and all that kind of stuff. Once you get to A-level, it's a bit less like a lesson and more like you just check in with your teacher, you know, a couple of times a week and update them on what you're doing for your coursework. So because it's a lot less hands-on from the teaching side, it's kind of a big step up in difficulty. I think that might be why I struggled with it. But like I say, once I got to university, I was kind of getting the hang of it. And I did quite well. If I can take what I need at A-level, I will, as it saves money and travelling, then go to uni or whatever I need to get my job done. Honestly, if you wanted to do engineering, I don't know what the best option would be, to be honest, because it's a much more mechanical What's the word for it? Is this Grimes or weather mod? This is the weather mod, yes, Takoda. This is ultra realistic, brutal graphics and weather, I think it's called. A-levels were awful for me. Lost a lot of my GCSE friends. College, then uni was fun though, says Kraken Wait. I was quite lucky that most of my friends from GCSEs stayed on at the same sixth form as I did, so, you know, I stayed with them for most of my A-levels. The uni, I was completely thrown in at the deep end. Deliberately, because I kind of had the attitude of, you know, if I'm going to go to uni, I really want to go the whole hog, and I don't just want to commute there. I don't want to commute to Sheffield Hallam every day on the train. If I'm going to go to uni, I'm going to the other side of the country, you know? So I deliberately threw myself in at the deep end with uni, but I absolutely loved it. It was such a great time. Like I say, I did quite well in my studies as well. I got a 2-1 in computer science with a focus in game design. It was a really great time, and, you know, most of my close friends today are people who I met at uni. And to be honest, I don't really keep in touch with many of my school friends these days, but I do keep in touch with my uni friends a lot. Oh, this is a way station. Sorry, I thought this was a checkpoint. I did Sheffield Hallam, though I did move there, had a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely, like I say, I'm not dissing Sheffield Hallam. Great university, it was one of my top choices. But yeah, I just kind of... I wanted to go a bit further, because I'd never really lived away from home before. I'd always, you know, relied on my parents and lived with my parents. I really thought, you know, this is my first chance to kind of stand on my own 2 feet. So I deliberately chose somewhere that was further away. And it paid off. It paid off. I mean, I am back in Doncaster now, so I see my parents, like, every, you know, a couple of times a week, really. But I'm glad that I got the experience, you know, and once I'm a bit more financially stable, I'd like to move a bit further away. Not that I hate my family or anything, but the only reason that I still live quite close to them is so that I can, you know, have their support if I'm struggling with anything like that. It was just far enough away for me, short trip back, but too far for a pop-in. That's fair enough. Yeah, because from Retford... Is there a direct train from Retford? I think there is, but it takes a while. There's one that runs from Retford via Worksop, I think. Punters says, I think I might scrape English, but at the end of the day, do I really need it for being an engineer? I need maths and science, mainly physics and chemistry. Oh yeah, if you want to be on the more technical side of engineering, then chemistry, physics, maths, they're all good options to take. I actually did all 3 of those, maths, science and physics at GCSE, and I loved them. I went on to do chemistry A-level because I really, really enjoyed chemistry. Just under an hour on the train, yeah, that is it's a little bit too far, isn't it? Draydog says, I was focusing so much on wanting to get school and college out of the way that I didn't really think much of what I wanted to do afterwards. I get that, I do get that. I think you're kind of in the moment a lot of the time with school. You know, you kind of spend a long time thinking, God, I can't wait for it to be over, and then it is over, and you're suddenly like, oh shit, I'm an adult now. I have to have a job and work. We all take science. We take all sciences now, and I want to work in aero. Want to follow the team at the same time so I can explore the world. That's fair enough, punters. You know, if you want to explore the world, do it while you're young. I wanted to explore the world. I mean, I'm only 27, I've got plenty of time, but, you know... One day. One day. There are definitely places that I want to go. Japan springs to mind. If you're a long-time viewer, you'll know about my connection with Japan and my history with Japan. But for those of you who don't know, it was my ambition after university that I was going to move to Japan to teach English. And I actually applied for and was accepted for a teaching job. But unfortunately, it was right around the time that COVID happened. So we ended up going into lockdown for 6 months. By the time lockdown was over, the job was no longer available. So my dream of going to Japan and teaching English was kind of shattered by the pandemic. And it's something that has always been in the back of my mind ever since. I'd still like to go to Japan one day, maybe even live there. Not permanently, but just for a year or two. It's just a shame, but that's life, you know. Things do happen, things get in the way of life. I don't think anyone expected a global pandemic, but again, these things do happen. And it did kind of put a spanner in the works for my my long-term goals. A spanner that I've never fully managed to remove, you know. I'm still in a position where I'm not quite where I want to be because COVID basically set me back. Literally set my progress back by 2 or 3 years. I'm not saying it to make excuses, you know. I'm not like trying to say that all of my problems are because of that, but it definitely, like I say, it set me back. It definitely played a big part in why I'm where I am now. Things come along with perseverance and patience. Very true, Dakota. Like I say, it's still my ambition. I don't have any hard plans right now, but it's still something that I want to do. You know, I still practice my Japanese every day to keep my skills sharp, and when the time's right, when I'm ready to pursue it, it's definitely still something that I'd like to do. Okay, it's 10 to 6, by the way. 10 to 7, sorry. I don't think we're going to get this job finished today, unfortunately. But that's how it is. Draydog says, had a decent Saturday job while I was at college, then COVID happened and I've been in and out of work ever since. Honestly, I've been in the same boat, Draydog. Like I say, I've worked at TGI for a few months. I worked at this print shop in Worksop. I worked there for a few months. It's just been little bits and pieces because I've never really been stable enough since university. Since COVID, I've never really been in a stable enough position to do anything long term yet. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself because ultimately, you know, the biggest reason that I'm in the position that I'm in right now is because of myself. But I think a lot of people underestimate how much of an impact COVID had on people who were just coming out of education. Like, that is the worst possible time for something like that to happen, you know, when you're just finishing college or university and you're just about to go into the world of work, and then suddenly there's a massive global pandemic and the economy is basically shut down for 6 months. Like, anyone who was in sixth form or college or university when COVID hit, it's the worst possible time of your life for something like that to happen. And it definitely, like I say, it set me back. It definitely set me back. And I think myself and a lot of people are still trying to properly find their feet, even 6 years later, because that's how much of an impact it had. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I think that was... I think that might have been my fault. Let's just say... Jesus, what's happening to me? Let's just say there were faults on both sides, okay? I was in the wrong lane, and he was in his lane, so we'll just take equal responsibility for that. Eight minutes. I was hoping to get some tips for my driving lessons, says the Cracker Wakes. You've come to the wrong place. When I get a job that I'll stick to permanently, I'll be able to have my own place, but I'll probably need to do what you're doing, which is have someone living with me to help financially. Yeah, like I say, that's the main reason that I'm living with my brother at the minute, because I just haven't been able to, you know, it's, like I say, for the last 5 years, I haven't been financially stable enough to live on my own. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat at the minute. There's a huge cost of living crisis, plus there was a global pandemic. There's a lot of people out there who are having to share living space with relatives or friends. Less people than ever are able to live on their own, you know. But it is reassuring to know that other people are in the same boat, you know. It kind of softens the blow a little bit, you know, knowing that other people out there are struggling in the same way. I'd love to live on my own. I'd love to have a house that was just mine, and, you know, every single room I could do whatever I want with, but unfortunately, right now, I have to live with my brother. It's the only financially viable option. Which is okay, you know. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to be forever. It's just what it is at the moment. Anyway, it's 5 to 7, so I am going to pull over as soon as we get to the next rest place. Oh, actually, looking on the map, we are quite close to our destination, so maybe I could just overrun by about 5 minutes or so. Let's go just a little bit longer to finish this job. Great stream, by the way. I do want to say, I know it's not been a very busy stream in terms of viewers. It's been very quiet on TikTok, but the conversation's been great. Like, everywhere. We've had conversation coming from YouTube, we've had conversation coming from the other place that I'm not allowed to mention. There's been plenty of conversation on TikTok as well. Like, the whole chat, all three chats have been very active, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much, everyone who's been engaging in conversation today. It's been really great. And I'm glad that people have taken to the new camera angle as well. I'm glad you liked it, because I think it's good. I think we're going to keep it like this for future driving games. I mean, the next one is going to be Farming Sim on Friday, if I don't have to cancel it, because obviously my sister's coming. But if we do Farming Sim on Friday, we'll keep the camera like this. I think it works quite well. Hey, Bertie boys, long time no see. How are you doing? How are you doing? It has been a while. I'm doing well. Started a new TikTok account because I got shadow banned on the old one. We're at just under 1,000 followers on that right now. And we are doing quite well elsewhere as well. YouTube, we've got almost 300 followers on YouTube right now. 300 subscribers. So thank you everyone who's subscribed over on YouTube. And over on the other platform, we've got 70 followers-ish at the minute. So thank you. Just thank you everyone. Wherever you're watching from, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And we're here. We're here, by the way. Fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to solving the mystery of those stones. Oh, you better believe it. If we do play Farming Sim this week, we are going to find those stones. We are going to find the stones of Kin Lake. I genuinely have no idea where they are. But we know they exist because there was a poster in the train station. And I'm not going to Google it. I actually want to... I think it'd be a good excuse for us to explore the map a bit more. So I am actually going to just try and find them on my own. Been busy with moving, jobs and stuff. Back on free time now. Good to hear you going well and growing. Thank you, Bertie boys. Thank you. Glad to hear you're doing alright as well. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're a little bit off there. And would you look at that, it's 7 o'clock. It's 1 minute to 7. And here was me thinking that we wouldn't have time to finish this job and that the stream would end up running over. It's actually perfect timing. I mean, by the time I've done my usual wrap-up, it'll be like 5 past, but we got the job finished on time. There we go. So that's going to be it for Euro Truck today. Shame no one joined the convoy, but, you know, it's my first time streaming Euro Truck on the new TikTok account, so not a lot of people got the word, and other people have been busy. But I will be playing more Euro Truck on the 17th. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Next Tuesday I'm going to be playing SnowRunner, and then the week after that I'm going to be playing Euro Truck again. Oh no, sorry, next Tuesday is the 17th, so I'm going to be playing SnowRunner next Tuesday, and then on the 24th I'll be playing Euro Truck again. Okay. Anyway, let me just pop the chat back in and switch over to my big camera. There we go. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining today. Great stream. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We have had some great conversation today. Like I say, I know that the viewership has been a little bit low, but the conversation has been great. It's been great talking to everyone on every single platform about so many things. We talked about uni, we talked about jobs, we talked about Thomas the Tank Engine. Just a great all-round conversation, great stream. I've really enjoyed it. That's all we got time for today, though. So the next live stream should be on Friday. just to remind everyone, my sister is coming to visit tomorrow, and she's going to be staying for a week. I haven't seen her since last November, or my nephew who's coming with her. So I might be cancelling some streams over the next few days to spend time with my sister and my nephew. I will let you know in advance, but if I can, I will try to keep streaming while they're here. So the next stream should be on Friday. If it is, we'll be playing Farming Sim. Then Sunday, we'll be doing Subnautica. And that's it for this week. So Friday and Sunday. I do also want to mention I've got a new video coming out tomorrow on TikTok and YouTube. I recorded it today before the stream, which is why I'm wearing this wonderful mint apple green jumper. You'll find out what the video is tomorrow when it goes live on TikTok and YouTube, as I say. And hopefully there will be some behind-the-scenes content for the Patreons. I just don't know if it'll be ready tomorrow or the day after. But there will definitely be some Patreon extras coming for that. Speaking of which, thank you very, very much to my Patreon supporters. Thank you to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Amy, Marika, Aaron, Hannah, Liam, and Matt. Thank you all very, very, very much for supporting me over on Patreon. It's very, very much appreciated. If you'd like to get your name on this board, there is a link in my About section on YouTube and the other platform. If you're watching on TikTok, there is a link in my bio, but it's not a link that you can click. You'll just have to copy and paste it or type it out manually. But there's links available. If you want to support me, it costs £1 a month. You get access to behind-the-scenes content, as well as shout-out on stream and VIP access in the Discord server. And you'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok and elsewhere. So thanks once again to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Amy, Marika, Aaron, Hannah, Liam, and Matt for supporting me over on Patreon. With that, we are going to call it a night. So thank you all once again. Thank you to Coda, thank you Max, thank you Bertie, thank you Kraken, Punters, Draydog, Charlie, other Charlie on YouTube. Thank you everyone. It's been great. Really enjoyed it. I'll see you on Friday for Farming Sim, hopefully, and I'll see you tomorrow for my latest video. That's all. Bye-bye.